Jon Stewart, you guys are going to really like this. Jon Stewart just incredibly dismantled and effectively broke down so many of the dishonest talking points that come from those who use in a dishonest way the reality of the Second Amendment to say that nothing should happen in terms of gun control and no protections for the lives of people based on how we regulate guns are appropriate. And Jon Stewart just wrecked all of those arguments, or at least the major ones, in an incredible clip I'm going to show you. So he's talking with State Senator Nathan Dahm, a Republican state senator from Oklahoma, and this state senator is not in favor of any of these common sense protections for the lives of Americans from gun violence, at least the ones that are being discussed here with Jon Stewart. And this conversation just very much reveals this individual's either dishonesty or complete lack of understanding about the reality of the situation, and generally so many of the dishonest talking points get broken down here. So take a look at this. Great job here from Jon Stewart.
But you don't want anything that could help law enforcement or society determine whether or not a person is a good guy with a gun or a bad guy with a gun.
Most even
the
law
registry
enforcement
would allow you to have much more effective background checks. So I don't understand why you won't just admit that you are making it harder for police to manage the streets by allowing all of these guns to go out without permits, without checks, and without background stuff.
And I'll kind of jump in every so often as we go through this clip. It is so important to point out that the side that purports to be pro-police, pro-cop, back to blue, all of that, it is quite illogical and, to me, enraging that they won't stand for gun regulation policies that would actually make police safer.
Why is that hard? Why can't you just stand by that?
Because that's not what I'm doing. I'm defending the individual's right to keep and bear arms.
That's a different argument.
Okay, but
you may do. Here's what I'm saying. You want to say I'm a Second Amendment purist and I'm making it safer. You're not. You're making it more chaotic, and that's not a matter of opinion. That's the truth.
That is a matter of opinion, John.
But why take away their tools?
Because certain of their tools that they're using would be infringements upon the people's right to keep and bear arms, upon their constitutional rights, upon due process, upon other things.
That registering is an infringement?
Yes.
Okay. Is voting a right?
It's a right for citizens, yes.
Do you have to do anything to do it?
Yes.
What do you have to do?
It depends.
Registering gun ownership is infringing on their right. How?
On the state.
What do you have to do?
Sometimes you have to be at least 18 years old.
What do you have to do?
And in some places you have to have a government-issued ID.
What do you have to? You have to
be on the voter rolls?
Register. You have to register. So you have to register to a right. Is that an infringement?
Does the right to voting say shall not be infringed?
Oh, so this is just a semantic argument now.
No, it's not.
You believe voting rights can be infringed because it doesn't say specifically shall not be infringed.
Is it an infringement upon a 17-year-old's right to vote, since they don't have that right to vote?
No.
Oh, it's not an infringement on them?
No,
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because you're the one making the argument, not me. I'm saying even rights have responsibilities, and that within those responsibilities are responsibilities and order. Otherwise, it's chaotic.
And we'll continue with more from this in a second here. But it is so true there to highlight. For Republicans, it is totally acceptable to have tons of obstacles for voting. Recently, Trump was calling for all voting to happen on just one day, just on election day. And they're solving a problem that doesn't exist. They're saying, we need to add all of these obstacles and make it harder for people to exercise the right to vote to solve a problem that doesn't exist, widespread voter fraud as they allege without evidence. So if there's not a problem, if our elections are secure as is, are free and fair as is, then of course we want to keep it and make it even more as accessible as possible so that people can exercise the right to vote. But they want to add obstacles. When it comes to the right to bear arms, there can't be any regulations. But in this situation, unlike what they allege with voting, there is a problem we need to solve, and it is countless lives being lost because of the way we manage guns in America, because of how differently, compared to other nations that are comparable, we regulate guns. And so there, you still have the right, but we absolutely should implement common sense gun control, but he's against it. It continues.
I'll go you one further. You want to ban drag show readings to children.
To minors, yes.
Why?
Why?
What are you protecting?
Why can we prohibit children from voting, those under 18 from voting?
Why are you banning
also that?
Is that free speech? Are you infringing on that performer's free speech?
They can continue to exercise their free speech, just not in front of a child.
Why?
Because the government does have a responsibility to protect.
I'm sorry?
The government does have a responsibility in certain instances to
What's
protect
the
children.
leading cause of death amongst children in this country? And I'm going to give you a hint. It's not drag show readings to children.
Correct, yes.
So what is it?
I'm presuming you're going to say it's firearms.
No, I'm not going to say it like it's an opinion. That's what it is. It's firearms. More than cancer, more than car accidents. And what you're telling me is you don't mind infringing free speech to protect children from this amorphous thing that you think of. But when it comes to children that have died, you don't give a flying to stop that, because that shall not be infringed. That is hypocrisy at its highest order.
Absolutely. When addressing a problem that they have made up, when dishonestly characterizing this story they tell, this false story of drag queens and all of the terrible things drag queens are doing, they are okay heavily getting the government involved in restricting the right of an individual. And they don't think that that is violating someone's rights when it comes to the free speech of, for example, a drag queen. But when it comes to a problem that does exist, that isn't made up, they don't want to act. It is so stunning, so sickening, hypocritical, as he said, and so enraging to watch. Because the leading cause of death, as Jon Stewart noted, for children in the United States is gun violence. And if that is not reason to not take away, but regulate as we do with every single right, just like how free speech, you can't threaten someone in certain ways, you can't use your free speech to hire a hitman, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, just like that is regulated. Guns should be more properly regulated so that so many children and people of all ages aren't dying. And it does work. It is common sense and it should be done. But individuals such as this Republican state senator stand in the way of those actions. And it is so backwards to watch. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.